the top over here, the bottom over here, and you're going to thinking about that, how much room do you want above over here? And thinking about if you want to move a little bit more to the left, and you're going to have a little bit more room maybe for the catch the shadow, right? So maybe just a little bit off to the left side. And think about how big it is. Give it a minute of thinking about it, okay? Don't rushing it. I have a 4B, so this pencil is a little bit dark, right? Most of the time, HB probably good enough for just the drawing, preparing for watercolor painting. So I'm gonna put the top over here, and then the bottom, yeah, coming to here. Just give a little bit thinking, and you can draw a little line all the way from the top to the bottom and try to get the balance. If someone's standing still and could be in between the two legs, or could be in the dominant leg. So you think about it, looks like her dominant leg is just right at the front over here, that the front of the foot on the left hand side, right? So you're making sure you understand the balance, otherwise the figure will falling off to one side or the other side. It's very important. It looks like a very simple thing, but you have to keep a little bit thoughtful. Now let's thinking about that from the top to the bottom over here. And in fact, there is just her foot is really coming down like this a little bit straight. But in fact, her actual height is start from the bottom of the heel. It will be here. Now, based on what we know about the common proportion of a human figure, and you can draw the middle point is right here. The middle point over here, that would be the close to the bottom of the pelvis. The pelvis, which is the form, and the hip coming down to the bottom connect to the legs. That's just the skeleton. Now let's take a look at the arm, the proportion. From the shoulder over here, okay, the shoulder over here, and to the elbow. This is about 1 1/3. So say this is one head, right? 1 1/3. Again, that's the third. So this will be the elbow. From the elbow to the wrist, that's just one head. This is a general proportion. Let's use the large brush. Have a little bit, how about a little bit yellowish color, and put it into here. Quickly change that to a little bit gray. We can put around the hairband and put it in front of the face. And that's pretty important because we don't have a darker value in front of the face. The light area of the face won't be able to show, right? Just any color, it will be fine. And I'm gonna have a little yellow mixed into here. Here you go. Now I'm gonna paint around the face. Okay, here you go. Like that, that's good. Just look at it and tap on it, make it even a little bit darker. Now look around the color, the light shade in front of the neck. That's good. And then coming over here in the arm, just use the corner, the tip. Okay, here you go. Now that's good. Like that. I'm gonna go around over here, make it consistent. You can change the color if you want. I'm gonna have a little red color even. Coming down over here, I have a little bit subtle difference. Here you go. And tap the color over here too. So make that feeling a little bit connected. Okay, the front of the body. Here you go. Now you have to have enough contrast, right? If you don't have enough contrast, and the painting is not going to look excited. Now at the bottom over here, I'm going to get a little bit blue color. Yeah, here you go. Just making sure you have enough paint enough value. I'm going to get a little bit red into this color, make it a little bit darker. Here you go. And now when you're doing this, you want to pay attention to the other side of the painting as well. I'm going to have it here. Here you go. A little bit coming down over here. Make it a little bit softer edge. That's okay. Here you go. That's good. And I'm going to working on this side before it getting dry. And also the bottom over here. I'm going to just put a little color over here and bring it over. And also here, careful. You want to also make and the light side of the leg a little bit more. Now I'm going to come in on this side before it's getting too dark. Get a little bit blue color, get a little bit darker, get some red color, right? Here you go. Blue, the red, it's very simple. Okay, here you go. My paper is 9 by 12, so it should be good enough. Now I'm going to paint it over here. Come around, take a look at the shoulder. If you're painting in the shoulder area, it will be okay. It's not the end of the world because the arm is also dark. Okay, here you go. Coming around over here. Here you go, like that. And coming under, let's do a little bit quicker. Here you go. A little bit red. That's good. Now have the same color over here and then come around on the side. Just use this large brush as a smaller brush coming over here and look at it from this side. That's good. All right, that's beautiful on here. So you're thinking about over here also have some soft color coming out. So I'm going to actually make this color coming into the skirt. It's going to blend in over there. Now I'm going to use a little bit more water coming to the bottom over here. I'm going to also merge that into the little bit softer to the floor. That's just fine, like that. Okay, coming on. Now coming to the back over here. A little bit more red. Here you go. Painting around over here. You know, it's just not really that difficult. The difficult part is for us to be able to separate the steps and focusing on each step in the process. Okay, that's good. Like that. All right, make sure that is consistent with the rest of the. Okay, this is good. Now the background over here, I'm still going to give it just a little bit more. Now I'm going to switch the brush. And before I actually working into that, I'm also going to use the water, soften that a little bit over here. So make sure that it's a little bit soft. All right, for now, that's good. Now I'm going to come in over here, take a look. That is, again, the color need to be a little bit subtle. So I'm going to have a little color coming here. That's just good enough. I'm going to have that with and maybe a little suggestions for the window. That's good enough. Okay, let's give you a little bit perspective and some of the line. Okay, at some point we're going to offer the perspective again so that you can focus on the 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective, and would be helpful in our landscape painting. Okay, now we're going to take a look at, and the bottom over here will also have a little bit dividing. So this is good to have that. And when it's wet into wet. So I'm going to have a little bit over here, put a little line, and here you go. That it would a little bit dissolve into, but we want to have a little bit suggestions. That's not going to be standing out too much. So this is good. Now this is close to dry. And that means we can also add a little bit shape over here and coming to the skirt. Okay, that's good. Like that. Have a little bit as well. And over here is quite wet, but we're gonna do it two-step. We're gonna do that wet when it's wet, and we're also gonna do it when it's dry a little bit, make the area closer to the figure a little bit harder. Now you can see that a little bit over here become the little issues with the texture. And sometimes texture is great. We're going to keep all the texture. But in this case, I'm going to let go this texture. So when you have let go of that, you need to paint that again. Because that's good. I'm going to have that coming all the way over here. That's fine. Like that. Now that is subtle. And I'm going to make this even lighter. Try to soften that. Okay, make that a little bit more connected. Okay, that's good for now. Now, let's take a look. And all over the place, very much, this is a dry. Most of the places is still wet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint a little color to the skirt. That is a little bit red color. And I'm going to remove some area, make it a little bit more clean in the mixing area. Here you go. That's good. And I'm going to try to have a little bit clean red color. Maybe a little bit French ultramarine, a little bit blue color. Like this is good. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to start putting the color in here. Also welcome to a little bit distortion and the color fade away. Okay, that's good. And the bottom over here, like that, and keep a little light shape over here. Just pink and look and observe, and that's good. Like I have, that's good. A little bit softer. And now this side need to be a lot more darker. I'm gonna take a little bit darker color. Mostly it will be red and the blue color. Here you go. Now this area being soft will be looks very interesting and connecting to the shadow side. Okay, like that. That's good. Now I'm gonna just use the water and just a little bit red color and connecting to. You want to have a soft edge. Is one hand you need to have the color similar, but most important, the value had to be very close together. Now we can create a form of the curve form, right? The form is very critical. I'm gonna have a little bit red coming here. Just put that in here. That's good. We can keep that. That's fine. And now take a look at the upper body. That's we call the local color. And the color of the whole shirt, what is the color? Now I'm gonna have this would be for the local color. Even the lightest area, it also have this color. But we're gonna see the shadow area also have even darker color. So we put this whole thing into the whole area. And then we can add the darker color on the shadow side. All right, so this the local color for that. Now, I think this already dry, this whole area. This is good. So now I'm going to mix the yellow color into here. That will become the skin tone. Have a little bit red, a lot more like an orangeness color. So this is good. Now I'm going to come in here to take a look at the skin tone. Here you go. Except the light, very light area. And take a look. I'm going to get a little bit blue color. There you go. Now mix into it. I'm going to come to the face over here too. Look at the shadow area. The same thing. No matter what you do, you're always thinking about the whole shadow area before you think about small details, okay? Like this. And if you draw with charcoal, it's the same way, the same observational process. Okay, that's good. Into that, that's good. And take a look at right up over here, the shadow, and also the nose. Everything you do is all about shape, capture the shapes. And take a look at the nose over here. That's good. Capture that shape. Okay, now coming around to the back of the head, you can actually mix a little bit darker color and take some risk. It's okay. Sometimes you see that, oh, that is a little bit softer over here. Make a little risk. That's okay. Now, have a little bit color over here. I know that is going to fade into the hairband, but you can come back to this, define that again a little bit later. Now see the hair coming over here. There you go, like that. Okay, that's good. Now we'll come back to the face a little bit later. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna continue to take this color all the way connected to the arm. Let's take a look. Over here, it has a little bit light shape, like a little triangle over there. And here you go. Now I'm gonna connect the color coming over here. That's good. A little bit color over here. And now we're gonna continue. It's a little bit cool color, a little bit more bluish on the skin. And take a look, connect that star from here all the way coming down. Right? It's just think about the shape. Everything is shape, shape, shape. Not problem. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna looking at a smaller shape a little bit later. Look for it. Look at it again. And always when you do the painting, start from the larger, using the larger brush, start from the large shape, and then go into the smaller. And when you get a little bit closer to the tip over here, and get a little bit red. So now changing the color, have a little red, like that, and get a little bit blue too. And I'm gonna coming over here. Here you go. I'm gonna clean a little bit more, just the red, just the red color. Here you go. Like that. And the finger over there. That's okay. We know it. Okay. Now take this a little bit cooler color again, and by a little red with a little blue. Now coming onto this side. Take a look. We can also overlay the lighter skin tone a little bit later. Now here you go, like that. And coming up, look at it again. Looking for the shape. Look carefully. Okay, here we go. Come around. We see that on the edge have a little light. Now I'm gonna add a little bit orange color at the bottom over here. Okay, and this curving a little bit like that. That's good. Now I'm going to come to the finger. Okay, make it a little bit darker at the tip. Okay, that's good. Like that. Look again. And our figure gesture drawing program, we're also going to learn how to use watercolor to directly sketching. But we would first start using the pencil and the charcoal, and then we're going to get very fun with it. And I'm going to take a look at in here, get a little bit blue over here. I'm going to make this a little bit darker, so it's give a little bit more separation between the chest and the arm. So tap a little color here. Also in the middle over here, have a little bit darker. So I'm going to get just drop in a little darker color right here. That's fine, like that. That's good. Okay, that's good. Also over here, I'm going to drop in a little bit dark color over here, and the back over here, and this is good. Now for the to make the color blending a little bit easier, just remove all the wet, and now come back over here, just moving that around. Okay, that's good, like this. I also move the color a little bit this way. So when it's wet, just use the clean brush. You can move the color, redistribute the color a little bit more. Maybe before we go back to the face, we're gonna do something in the legs. Okay, take a look at the general color. A little bit more like a brownish color at the front over here. See a little catch to shadow. Coming this way, like that. That's good. Get a little bit blue quickly. And take a look at that. And coming all the way wrap around the hill. Here you go, like that. Take a look at the shape, the whole shape. Don't overthinking sometimes. Okay, now take a look at here. There's a whole shoe over here, the whole leg in the shadow. So you want to have this, the whole thing, put into a little darker color first, except the bottom over here. We see a little bit light. Okay. And here also dark. That's good. We're going to keep that. And this is good. We're going to come back to do a little bit more. And after it settle a little bit. Now we can come back over here to give some little brush stroke for the smaller shape and get a little bit of this, create that little big fold over here. That's good. Like that. And you can do a little lifting to create more dynamic those folding. If you want, it can have. That's actually so far so good. I'm gonna have a little bit red, just the red, pure red color, and put a little bit here. Here you go, like that. A little bit here, like that. That's good. Okay, and take a look on this side. Also, I need to have the color softer because it's a little bit too much difference between this and outside. And we might also do a little lifting with the flat brush and the top over here. We can make it darker too. Okay, that's just good. And when we're doing this, we'll also use the little color and put the shadow side of this wrapper like that. That looks good. And a little bit shape like this. All right, getting there. Now we're gonna come into maybe give a little color to the neck. Now take a look. We're gonna have just a little bit colors, not much. You see that this is just much, very light. I'm coming over here, right over here. Just a little bit darker on top of this. And a little bit over here, a little sideburn. that a little smaller shape. And now we're going to come to the neck area. There's a little shape in the front over here. That's good. And here is a little triangle. And maybe a little bit darker. Yeah, just a little bit darker color. That don't make everything so dark. Okay. And now I'm going to come back here to make the hair shape a little bit more clear. Here you go, like that. That's good. And a little bit behind, so you can suggest the hairband even a little bit more clear, like that. That's good. Right, that's good. Beautiful and easy. And a little bit softer. Wrap around the hair over here a little bit softer. And take a look at this muscle, and then connect to the top over here. And this side is a little bit darker. And here you go. Connect that down over here. If you want, you can actually make it a little bit softer. Just clean the brush with very little water. Now, that's good. Now I'm gonna continue building up a little bit more shape. You see how light this color on the palette, right? There's a little color here. And there's a little shape over there. And also we see a little shape under the strap here. There's a little shape. Beautiful. Just like that. You're finding the shape and you can make it look great. Now this a little bit too much, so I'm going to soften this. I'm going to use the flat brush, make it even easier. Here you go. I'm going to make that a little bit lighter. Okay, make sure the brush is wet. Now it's much lighter. So you know that this area already wet. So you don't want to immediately come back to it. You can come back to it a little bit later. Now this a little bit darker shade. We'll come back to do a little bit more. Now I'm going to come into the arm. Now here you go. See a little bit catch the shadow for the strap. Okay, like that, a little bit darker. Now take a look at, there's the shadow. And that may be a little bit too much. So, but I like the emphasis of this area. So I'm just use the water to soften that, make it a little bit gradually blur and have the transition. So in the back over here, I'm gonna have a little bit brownish color over here. That's good. A little bit brown color. And I'm gonna make that a little bit more solid. That's good. Coming on to this side. Now take a look at in here. You see a little bit shape, and there's the shadow shape all the way connect into here. And then on this side and the edge. Okay, this is pretty good. They create ideas of the form of the arm, the structure. Okay, and now you can take a look at the hand. They have a little bit darker color over here, and have this will be the finger. And make that darker. Also, you make the thumb show up a little bit more clear. And this is just the shape. Okay, the shape of the finger, the shape of inside over here, and now the thumb showing up. Okay, that's good. Step by step, a little by little. So it always be able to, everything is doable. Okay, always start from the big shape of the entire hand before you go into make the small defined definitions of the fingers by dividing the bigger shape into a smaller shape. So now I'm going to have this a little bit softer. Here you go. Coming like that. That's good. Now I come into look at this side. when you're doing one hand and you look at the other hand and see right here, the thumb need to be darker. Like that, just the thumb over here. That's good. A little bit suggestions of one finger and just do a little bit more of separation between those fingers. This is red shade blue color. Maybe a little bit blue. That's good. Like that, that's good. Now take a look, and we need to cover the entire shadow. Okay, like this. That's good. And that's wonderful. Coming all the way over here. Okay, and then coming down all the way down over here. And since this is shadow, okay, they catch the shadow, it actually also create a similar color effect. So that we are going to use the same color over here and locking this part, and which is very easy to communicate, and that's okay, that's good. Softly connected over here, and I give a little bit soft color over here. Now this is good. Now I'm gonna have a little bit soft transition right over here. Just clean the brush, you just tap on it, use the water, let it softly connect it a little bit softer over here to create that feeling of transition. Okay, so that looks very nice on the body. And also use the same color over here to suggest the strap coming up over here. Here you go, like that. And also over here, put the color over there. And we can come to the leg or start from the face. Let's put a little color to the face. It's not much more, and we need to do. It's just take a look at the mouth. And look at it again. Okay. Draw a little bit thin line. Oh, that's good. You don't want to draw all over because the lower lip only need a very small line. So use this calligraphy brush. You can actually get into a very smaller and smaller. Just see a little bit, very little. Okay, that's good enough for the. And okay, now I'm gonna add a little darker color for the eye. Just get a little bit dark color. And here we go, right here. That's the eye. And also a little bit eyebrow, like that. Okay, inside the ear over here, also a little darker shape. That's good. Okay, and then the face, close to the face over there, have a little middle tone. I'm gonna just get a little bit orange color, get the yellow and the red together. And that's probably too bright. And I'm going to let go some of the color. Okay, now I'm gonna come back over here. This is the area, need to be a bit softer. Here you go, that's a little bit softer. And I can persistently moving around, so make a little bit soft color. Now, when you have this color over here, a little bit softer like that, and also, and matter of fact, need a little bit more red. It's a little bit too yellow. And see a little bit on the chin. And here you go, like that. I'm gonna have actually the pencil mark a little bit too much. I can soften that over there. And then on the cheek area, I'm gonna have a little bit red. And even though it doesn't look like too much red, but it's just a little bit red on the cheek over here, and like that, and create some freshness. Okay, that's good, like that. Okay, now I'll take a look at the leg down over here, and just get a little bit warmer color with a little red, showing this part over here has the skin, and a little bit over here show the part have the skin. That's good, like that. And the back over here, a little skin tone over there, and this is good. Now I'm gonna have a little bit dark color, and the back over here, a little bit darker. Here you go. Right there. That's good. And connect that little line coming to the bottom. Okay, here you go. A little bit at the bottom. Also show a little bit dark color on the back over here. Now I'm going to take a look at the skirt. Do we need to have some lifting? I'm going to try to use the flat brush over here. I'm going to soften that some area. I think a little bit too much texture. Here you go. And if you have a bigger paper, you can actually easier when you are doing the lifting for the shape. And I can make that a little bit softer. See that you bring out the feeling of the materials of the skirt. Okay, that's good. Okay, here you go. That's a little bit softer. Don't make it too big though. So you just have the feeling that actually this actually softly blending into the surrounding color. Okay, that's good. And I can have that little bit more of this color and coming out over here. See that? Make it a little bit fresh. Okay, like that. And also the bottom over here, you can also have a little bit softer. So lift it up a little bit. That's good. Give the feeling of those very translucent materials. Okay, now let's paint the catch the shadow. And I'm going to take the blue color and the red color. You can get a little bit gray color from here. That's good. And start from a little bit darker. Here you go. From here, looking for the shape. And push it down a little bit. And then keep going. Okay, over here. A little bit darker. And connect it into the shape over here. And a little bit bigger. And like that. Here you go. Now I'm going to have a little bit water merge into it, and also maybe have a little bit blue color too. Make it not just lighter, also change the color a little bit. Okay, like that. That's great. Maybe on this side, have a little bit more like that, coming up. And this side, a little bit more, coming up, coming down like this. So I'm going to have this color, a little bit softer. Here you go, coming up like this. Now take a look at, this is great, and maybe a little bit, but we don't want to have it that much. Okay, a little bit over here.